Generation, advising them of our intention to file a lawsuit regarding their opacity violations. The Clean Air Act requires us to send a letter 60 days before we file a lawsuit, and at the end of this 60-day waiting period, we intend to file a lawsuit. In our letter, we indicated that we intend to sue Midwest Gen for its thousands of violations of opacity standards. Opacity is a measure of how black the smoke is when it comes out of that stack. Opacity, essentially, it's a measure of the amount of sunlight that the smoke blocks. Because they're very old, Midwest Generation's units are subject to a lenient standard of 30%, while newer plants are subject to a tighter standard of 20%. We are concerned about opacity because it measures particle pollution, which is essentially soot. This type of pollution is particularly dangerous because the particles get lodged deep within the lungs. Particle pollution is especially hazardous to children, the elderly, and people with respiratory disease such as asthma. Midwest Generation self-reports these violations. It continually measures the opacity that's coming out of its stack and sends a report to the state every 3 months. The report lists every instance when Midwest Generation exceeds its standards. By its own admission, Midwest Generation has violated these standards thousands of times in the past several years. These are the hundreds of pages of reports that document those violations. The government has yet to bring a stop to this, even though these violations have been going on for years. And the government holds in its hands the evidence of these violations. This is akin to Midwest Generation walking up to a police station and saying, "Hey, I've been breaking the law. I broke the law thousands of times, and I will give you a list of all those times." And the police have said, "It's okay, go home, don't worry about it." We are here to say that we are not okay with it. We are here to say the community is not okay with it. If the government will not do anything about these violations, we will. If Midwest Generation refuses to clean up its act, we demand that it explain itself in court.